Good evening. You're watching the news tonight, a daily roundup of all that has happened across India and the world. I'm Ishan Russell, and these are the headlines we're tracking tonight. Thaw in Indo-Pak ties, Modi holds crucial meeting with Pakistani counterpart. Nawaz Sharif accepts invitation to attend the SAARC summit in Islamabad next year. Sharif assures a speedy 2611 trial. '15 Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit agrees to make India and Pakistan full members, starts process for their entry into the China-Russia-led security bloc. Countdown starts at Sriharikota launchpad for PSLV C-28 rocket launch. ISRO to put into space its heaviest payload yet. 5 UK satellites weighing 1,440 kilograms. Ahead of a full European summit on Sunday, Greek MPs vote on Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras' tough new proposals to secure a third bailout. And Sania Mirza and Martina Hingis storm into the final of the women's doubles at Wimbledon. Well, a top story this evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Pakistani counterpart Nawaz Sharif decided to revive the stalled dialogue process during their meet on the sidelines of the SCO summit today. Breaking ice after talks were called off in August last year, the two leaders agreed broadly on stepping up efforts against terror. Pakistan also agreed to expedite the trial of the 2611 accused Zakir Rahman Lakhvi, while India called for action against Lakhvi for peaceful ties.
This was the first time Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif sat for talks since the Foreign Secretary level talks were suspended in August last year. Expectations were that the two sides will rake up the issue of terror. The two leaders decided that the national security advisors of both countries would meet in Delhi to discuss all issues relating to terrorism, signalling a thaw in relations. Pakistan has agreed to expedite the Mumbai attacks trial. Sharif sought discussions over all outstanding issues, including Jammu and Kashmir.
Both leaders condemned terrorism in all its forms and agreed to cooperate with each other to eliminate this menace from South Asia.
Both sides agreed to discuss ways and means to expedite the Mumbai case trial, including additional information like providing voice samples. A decision for release of fishermen in each other's custody, along with the boats, within a period of 15 days. 4, a mechanism for facilitating religious tourism. A meeting in New Delhi between the two NSAs to discuss all issues connected to terrorism.
The two sides also agreed to push for more frequent and face-to-face contact between senior army officers. Modi accepted an invitation from Sharif to attend the SAARC summit next year in Islamabad.
Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif reiterated his invitation to Prime Minister Modi to visit Pakistan for the SAARC summit in 2016. Prime Minister Modi accepted that invitation.
Pakistan's commitment to cooperate with India against terror is a good news before both the countries join SCO as a full member. If it happens, it will give a boost to the development dynamics of both the countries. But it will be interesting to see when Pakistan Army comes on board with the two countries. Akhilesh Suman with camera person DK Pandey in Ufa, Russia.
And in fact, let's go across to Akhilesh Suman in Ufa to help us understand. Akhilesh, as far as this meeting between the two leaders goes, it's turned out to be quite significant and a significant shift in ties between India and Pakistan now.
See, it is really interesting to see that if you ask me that 3 days earlier we were talking to the Foreign Ministry of India, then they were telling that no, there is, we will confirm you if there is any meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister of Pakistan Nawaz Sharif. But yesterday evening they told me that yes, there is a formal meeting, and yes, today when we were waiting for the briefing, it was surprising that both the foreign secretaries came together to brief us. So you can understand that there is some silver lining between the two countries, and the reason might be that both the countries are becoming the full member of SCO. And SCO is an organization where Russia and China both are present in a big way. Russia is India's long-lasting friend, well-tested friend, and China has very good relations with Pakistan. So I think this is the region that both Pakistan and India has come together, and they have started something that can go into further cooperation. And if you go into the SCO meetings, in SCO also Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that we are able to contribute whatever we can in raising the connectivity between Central Asia, between other SCO countries and India. And in the same vein, even the Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif didn't raise any contentious issue. And the reason why I think one of the prominent members of the country were telling us that, see, we don't want the contentious issue between India and Pakistan to be described in the SCO forum. Otherwise, SCO forum will also become an institution like SAC. So I think there is some disciplinary element in the SCO that has brought the two countries together for this further advancement in the relationship. And if you say that whether there is silver lining, this India have an interest, because India has the connectivity problem with the Central Asian countries, with the Russia itself.
Right.
So if Pakistan comes on board, and connectivity is one of the major programs of SCO, connectivity, energy security, and terrorism. And if Pakistan comes on board on the three issues, it will be a win-win situation for both Pakistan, for both India, and even China and Russia and other Central Asian countries.
All right, Akhilesh, but very quickly, also, if you could get your take on the entire visit of Prime Minister Modi, and where can we expect him to head now? Where is he headed, and what can we expect from that as well? Because the BRICS summit, of course, wound up. The SCO is also wound up. So in terms of the big takeaways, apart from the India-Pakistan meeting?
Yeah, actually, this is one of the major visits of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because he is not only visiting Russia, he is visiting the whole five Central Asian countries, and also he met the South African president, he also met the Brazilian president, he also met the Iranian president, and Pakistan Prime Minister himself. So you can say that it was a really engaging process, really very good engaging process beyond West and beyond America. And if you see that Prime Minister has been telling for a long time that it is coming to be an Asian century, and BRICS and SCO, if combined together, it will be a BRICS Asian plus Latin American plus African. It is going to be a big conglomeration of cooperation among the nations, and I think that it can give a developmental shift to the whole global politics, and whole UN might have to change its stance that is tilted towards the rich nations of the West and the Americans.
Very valid points you make over there, Akhilesh Soman. Indeed, it is a sort of a turning point for emerging economies such as India. Of course, thank you very much for coming in and helping us understand that live from UFA as well. Now, mixed reactions followed the Modi-Sharif meeting in UFA, with opposition parties questioning the need for it, when according to them, the situation has not changed on the ground. The BJP, however, defended it, saying the Prime Minister met Sharif on India's terms. In Kashmir, both separatists and mainstream camps welcomed the resumption of the Indo-Pak dialogue and hope that Kashmir would be back in focus soon.
The BJP claims it was a landmark meeting. What's more, party leaders insist that it was done on India's terms, with Pakistan accepting India's terms on terror.
Our Prime Minister's meeting the Pakistan Prime Minister in a very important summit, and it's raising the concern of India, our security concern. Our PM is not raising the issue like the previous government, when the then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh said that Pakistan is also a victim of terrorism.
But not everyone is agreeing with the BJP's perception. Its own ally, the Shiv Sena, called the meeting unfortunate. Sena chief Uddhav Thackeray said nothing had changed on the border.
जो पहले से चल के आई थी बात वही चल रही है. एक फर्क लोगों का अंदाज था या उम्मीद थी कि कुछ तो फर्क होगा, लेकिन आज तक तो वैसा कुछ फर्क दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है. बहुत ही दुख की बात है.
The opposition Congress was equally scathing in its criticism. Party leaders asked what were the circumstances that made this meeting necessary.
Engagement on Pakistan and our neighbors is important, particularly to ensure peace and stability. But there are past agreements and understandings reached which have not been honored, for which Pakistan cannot be rewarded.
पाकिस्तान के प्रति जो मोदी सरकार की रणनीति और नीति है, उसको लेकर के हम निराश हैं। चुनाव से पहले जो बड़ी बातें सीमा पार के आतंकवाद के खिलाफ, घुसपैठ के खिलाफ की गई थीं, उस पर कोई कार्रवाई नहीं हुई।
Not everyone was as scathing, however. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah was cautiously optimistic, calling it a good first step.
I will be very cautious in my reaction. I will say this is the first good step to resume the discussion between the two countries, but it's a long way off. Only good thing that has happened really, I would think, is that the NSAs have now been involved and they will be talking to each other at the highest level, so which I think is something that we should look forward to.
The Modi-Sharif meeting took place in the backdrop of yet another ceasefire violation by Pakistan, the third this week. A BSF Jawan was killed in the sniper fire on Friday at the Karam post of Baramulla sector. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, India and Pakistan will be inducted into the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or the SCO, next year. Regular membership of the two countries, who are currently SCO observers, has been approved at the summit that opened today. Here are the details.
The 15th SCO summit opened in Ufa in Russia on Friday. The summit has paved the way for nuclear-armed rivals India and Pakistan to begin the process of joining the security bloc led by China and Russia. It would be the first time the grouping has expanded since it was set up in 2001.
मैं आपको आश्वस्त करता हूं कि भारत एससीओ को हर क्षेत्र में सहयोग देगा। इस अवसर पर मैं पाकिस्तान को एससीओ में शामिल होने पर बहुत बधाई देता हूं। भारत की सदस्यता यूरेशिया के विभिन्न क्षेत्रों को फिर से जोड़ने और एकीकृत करने के हमारे साझे दृष्टि को आगे ले जाएगा।
The SCO groups China, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. The grouping was originally formed to fight threats posed by radical Islam and drug trafficking from neighboring Afghanistan.
भारत एससीओ क्षेत्र के देशों के साथ मिलकर मानव संसाधन विकास, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी, फार्मास्यूटिकल्स और हेल्थ केयर, बैंकिंग और कैपिटल मार्केट, स्मॉल एंड मीडियम एंटरप्राइजेस, माइक्रो फाइनेंस, फूड सिक्योरिटी, एग्रीकल्चर के क्षेत्रों में काम करने के लिए तैयार है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also expressed willingness to contribute to the development of infrastructure in the region and said that India's SCO membership was a natural extension of its bilateral relationships and mirrors the region's place in India's future. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now on to our focus story for this evening. The Indian Space Research Organisation is all set for its heaviest commercial mission later today. It will put into orbit 5 British satellites at one go on board the PSLV C-28 rocket. The launch is scheduled for 9:58 p.m. tonight from the Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota. With an overall load of over 1,440 kilograms, this launch will become the heaviest commercial mission ever undertaken by ISRO and its commercial arm, the Antriksh Corporation. Out of the 5 satellites, 3 are for Earth observation, while the other 2 are technology demonstrators. The observation satellites will primarily be used for imaging and monitoring resources and environment besides disaster management efforts. These satellites can image any target on the Earth's surface every day. Major application areas include surveying the resources on Earth and its environment, managing urban infrastructure and monitoring disasters. The life of the mission is 7 years. And TV Venkateswaran, scientist, he's a scientist and he joins us to help us understand the importance as far as ISRO's mission is concerned. I mean, ISRO has been doing the country proud, and this time, once again, another feat for our space organization.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So if with this launch, and most likely we are going to succeed, we would have put 45 satellites of foreign nation into space. I mean, ISRO would have carried those satellites to space. So it's a, this mission is going to take 5 satellites, the full payload. The last one that we did was in 2014, a French satellite, Spot 7, which was about 600-700 kg. But now we are doing about 1.7 ton, which is a huge leap, if one has to say. And if you look at the rocket, the PSLV, its modified version XL. This would be the 9th launch of this XL version, and the last 8 has been successful. If you look at the core, the PSLV, it has been successful last 27 times. So if you look at the India's capability, particularly using the PSLV, we can carve a market for 1.5 ton class launches for low Earth orbit or medium orbit, sun synchronized orbit, and I mean, you can do a massive thing with this. I mean, we can get a niche market in the international satellite space.
All right, so indeed an important milestone from ISRO. But let's also talk about the payload that it's carrying, the satellites on board. And these are also quite interesting and really could be game changers as far as how we observe the Earth itself.
Yeah. See, the 3 of them are like remote sensing satellites. So, I mean, it's Britain made and then we are launching it. It's important for British from that point of view. But one of the satellite, actually a nano satellite, which is just about 9 kilograms, okay, just 9 kilogram, is perhaps a game changer in future. From 1957, when the first spacecraft was launched into space, till now, we have put something like about 8,000 tons of space debris. I mean, space debris are over there, and the famous film Gravity also sort of, dramatically told us, I mean, what could happen if there is a, disaster in the space because of this debris. So you have to clean up this space. How do you do it is a major issue. One aspect of this cleaning up the space is whenever you launch a satellite, after its utility is over, you have to destroy it. I mean, you have to bring it into a deorbital framework where it will self-destruct. How do you do it is a very, very major issue. Today, the satellites may stay for hundreds of years uselessly in the space, causing havoc, posing danger. So this particular 9 kilogram payload that is being sent, it's called a deorbiter mission, will go into the space and kind of a solar sail will expand. The solar sail is just 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter into 20 centimeter, small box. It will expand into 4 meter into 4 meter. And using sun's energy, like for example, the wind is used in sail, sail. In same way, it will use the sun's energy to impel and deorbit. If this mission succeeds, in future spacecraft, perhaps one can install such a mechanism so that after the utility of the spacecraft, they can be safely disposed of. So in some sense, it's like an experimental effort to clean up the space debris.
All right, Mr. Venkateswaran, we'll leave it over there for now, but thank you very much for coming in and helping us understand the importance of ISRO's mission. This is indeed a milestone for our space organization. On that note, we'll take a very quick break, but coming up on the other side, industrial output growth rate has slowed down to 2.7% in May, owing to a slump in manufacturing growth.
Sharif Modi meet in Ufa, alongside India-Pakistan tensions. What have the two leaders clinched? Have they broken the long-standing ice between the neighbours? Watch the big picture at 9:30 p.m. only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Now, the factory output measured by the Index of Industrial Production has slipped to 2.7% in May. Now, this is lower than the downwardly revised 3.36% growth recorded in April. The growth in manufacturing sector slowed down to 2.2% in May. In comparison, the manufacturing sector grew at 5.1% in April. The manufacturing sector contributes nearly 3/4 of the IIP index. Growth in power generation too saw a marginal slowdown at 6%. Cumulative industrial output growth for the first 2 months of the present financial year was 3% compared to 4.6% for the same period last year. Some political news now, and the BJP-led NDA has dealt a blow to the RJD-JDU alliance in the Bihar Legislative Council elections today. The BJP and its allies won 14 out of the 24 seats. The ruling alliance, led by Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, managed to win just 9, while the remaining 1 seat was claimed by an independent candidate currently lodged in the Patna jail. The victory, coming months before the crucial assembly elections, has made BJP confident of returning back to power in the state. However, the RJD-JDU alliance attached no significance to the outcome, saying it will not impact the assembly polls outcome.
सुना है कि नीतीश कुमार जी ने इसको सेमीफाइनल कहा था, तो हम 14 जीत गए 20 में। लालू जी नीतीश जी साथ आए, फिर भी लोगों ने दिखा दिया। तो ये छोटा चुनाव था, जरूर है, एमएलसी का था, लोकल बॉडीज का, लेकिन प्रदेश का एक संकेत तो जरूर है।
जीतने पर जैसा भी चुनाव हो सबको अच्छा लगता है, तो अच्छा लगे, इतने भर में कोई एतराज की बात नहीं। लेकिन इससे आगे का नक्शा देखेंगे। पुष्पभूमि में जीने वाले लोग हैं, इसी प्रकार की पुष्पभूमि में जिए, तो हम लोगों को क्या दिक्कत है?
इसको मैं सबक लेने वाला परिणाम कहता हूँ। गठबंधन के नेताओं को सावधान सजग हो जाना चाहिए, और ये जो खराब परिणाम आया, इसको हम अच्छा में कैसे बदल सकते हैं, ये इसी सुधार के लिए मौका हमको है।
Time now for us to take a look at what else is making news across the country nationwide. The flight data recorder of the missing Dornier Coast Guard aircraft has been recovered after over a month it went missing. The remains of the aircraft and the FDR were found along Tamil Nadu's Chidambaram-Cuddalore coastline. The Dornier flight with 3 crew members on board went missing on the 8th of June during a routine surveillance sortie. The total number of telephone connections across the country crossed the 100 crore mark in May. While the landline connections continue to be on the decline, the growth in mobile segment was led by Idea Cellular. Telecom Regulatory Authority (TRAI) came out with the figures today, estimating monthly growth rates of subscribers to be 0.23%. 6 people were arrested as violence continued in Manipur on Friday despite the indefinite curfew imposed to tackle protests which broke out after a student was killed by police on Wednesday. The protesters were demanding the implementation of the inner line permit regime system, which demanded stringent laws to check influx of immigrants to protect the cultural and traditional identity of the locals. The situation is said to be tense but under control. Some international news now, and the Eurogroup has said that the new Greek proposal on securing a vital third bailout is thorough. A decision on the bailout will be made at a Eurozone finance meeting on Saturday. The proposal that is aimed at staving off a financial collapse contains several elements from the referendum that was rejected last Sunday. The proposal will be voted upon in the Greek parliament today.
The Eurozone has said that the latest proposals for reforms by the Greek government were serious and credible. France has urged talks to resume between Greece and its international creditors with the aim of reaching a deal.
Les Grecs viennent d'adresser leurs propositions. Elles étaient attendues. Les Grecs viennent de montrer une détermination à vouloir rester dans la zone euro. Parce que le programme qu'ils présentent est sérieux et crédible. Ensuite, parce que ils vont le soumettre au Parlement, ce qui montrera de la force, de l'engagement, mais je le dis aussi du courage. Alors les discussions maintenant doivent s'engager, doivent reprendre, mais avec la volonté de conclure. Telle est la démarche de la France.
Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras has offered last-minute concessions to try to save his country from bankruptcy. These include more tax hikes, pension reforms, defense spending cuts, a timetable for privatizing state assets, and hikes in VAT for hotels and restaurants. Most of these proposals were voted upon and rejected in a referendum by Greek citizens on Sunday. The fresh proposal will now be put to vote in the parliament.
Κοιτάξτε, αν τα διλήμματα που μπαίνουν είναι πολύ σκληρά, έχουμε απέναντί μας μια αδιάλακτη Γερμανία, η οποία δεν δέχεται να συζητήσει ό,τι συζητάει όλος ο κόσμος. Πρέπει να σταθμίσουμε τα μακροπρόθεσμα εθνικά συμφέροντα, να πάρουμε πολιτικό χρόνο για να ανασυνταχθούμε. Η Ευρώπη δεν θα είναι ίδια από εδώ και πέρα, αλλά το ιστορικό και γεωπολιτικό μας όριο είναι αυτή η Ευρώπη. Πρέπει να δούμε πώς θα επιβιώσουμε σε αυτό το ασφικτικό πλαίσιο.
There are conflicting views among the public, however. Thousands of Greeks rallied in Athens on Thursday in support of staying with Europe. But the other side of proposed reforms can be seen in the faces of these pensioners who queued up outside banks in Athens to collect their pensions. They are angry that Tsipras's new proposal includes pension reforms. Post the Greek vote, Eurozone finance ministers will meet in Brussels on Saturday. A meeting of Eurogroup leaders is scheduled for Sunday afternoon, followed by a full EU summit 2 hours later. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, news from the entertainment world, where renowned actor Omar Sharif died at the age of 83 at a Cairo hospital due to a heart attack. He is best known for his roles in classic films such as Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago. Omar Sharif won 2 Golden Globe Awards and an Oscar nomination for his role as Sharif Ali in David Lean's 1962 epic, Lawrence of Arabia. It was his first English-language role after appearing in over 20 Egyptian films. He's also won a Golden Globe for Dr. Zhivago. According to reports, Omar had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease.
The winner is Omar Sharif.
Well, time for some sports now, and India today won the first one-dayer against Zimbabwe in Harare by just 4 runs. Chasing 256 to win, Zimbabwe faltered at the start by losing quick wickets. However, Chigumbura struck an unbeaten century to take the host within striking distance of the Indian total. Akshar Patel and Stuart Binney took 2 wickets each. Earlier, India had posted 255 for 6 in 50 overs despite the starting lineup fell in quick succession. Ambati Rayudu and Stuart Binney put up a 160-run stand to post a respectable total for the team. Registering their highest one-day international scores, Rayudu's 124 and Binney's 77, put the team back on track. Rayudu was adjudged man of the match. And time now for all the sporting action in Sports Beat. India's Sania Mirza and her women's doubles partner Martina Hingis have reached the Wimbledon final. They defeated the pair of Cobbs-Jones and Spears easily in straight sets. The two will now take on Makarova and Vesnina, who earned a place in the final after a hard-fought second semi-final. Top seed Novak Djokovic defeated Richard Gasquet in straight sets to reach the men's singles final at the Wimbledon. Djokovic will now meet either second seed Roger Federer or third seed Andy Murray in the final. In the women's singles, Serena Williams will eye her 6th Wimbledon title against 20th seed Muguruza tomorrow. Australia fell short of England's first innings score of 430 on day 3 in the first Ashes Test at Cardiff. The Aussies folded up for 308 runs. Opener Roger missed his century by just 5 runs. James Anderson took 3 wickets while Broadwood and Moeen Ali picked up 2 wickets each. In the second innings, England has put up 149 for 3 to tea break. Well, that's all from us. Goodbye.